Well, here we are with October 29th, 1994. And for me, I was a Phish fan for quite a while and diving into many shows before I actually discovered this show. It is an official live Phish release now, meaning, mid 90s official live release. You can imagine how great the mix is on this. I mean, you can just listen to each guy individually just perfectly if you want to do that. If you're just like, I'm just going to concentrate on Fishman, he's just like right there. Same thing with Page and Mike in the bass. I know for a long time there was the people out there, there was a campaign to make Mike louder. Well, he was perfect in this mix. All right, so let's just get going. Enough about that. But then my friend, that's why I'm starting out with the mix, because my goodness, it just sounded so amazing, including John Fishman, especially John Fishman. And then we get to a little bit of an odd jam there at the end of My Friend. Very strange for 1994. Even now when they do that, it's a bit of it's like, whoa, look at this. My friend with a little bit of a jam at the end. And then they show like, okay, they go from one of the darker, kind of mad, angry, evil sounding songs they have into Sparkle. Basically a song that a 5-year-old would enjoy. So they're just showing you a little bit of what they got. This was down in Spartanburg, South Carolina, giving the city a little nod there with Sparkle. And then Simple. The Simple sounded really good, but then they just kind of gave up on the Simple quickly just for this big monster. And then I just felt like, sometimes in the mid-90s, it's just like they were just hungry. They had a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. Trey seems to be happy now that a lot of people don't know who Phish are and they go underneath the radar. But back then, they were a little bit on the chip, I think. But that wasn't all that was going on with this show, I think. They had that hunger in them, and they just wanted to prove to everybody that they were one of the greatest rock bands going. But they also knew what was coming on Halloween. There was like a quiet confidence in them in this show. They're like, oh yeah, they hadn't done it yet, but they knew what was coming, and they had to feel like the fans are going to love this. This is going to take us up to another notch. So I felt like not only the hunger, but just a big confidence in this Runaway Jim. I mean, just absolutely nailing it. Very little. They very, very, very briefly left the page of Runaway Jim. But if it wasn't Fishman just absolutely blowing your mind, it was Jimmy. It was Jimmy Anastasio doing something there to blow your mind. And then we get over to Foam. It was hard to recover from this Jim. I listened to it twice in a row immediately. Then we get on to everything was very nice if it wasn't extra special. Foam being one of them. Okay, Lawn Boy. It's just Lawn Boy, all right? Kind of like Sparkle. But then Split Open and Melt for one that just stayed within Melt. Whatever that is, it's so chaotic. It's like, I think this is what they're supposed to be doing. And again, wrote down a little the mix on this one. I know I'm just carrying on about that so much, but if you throw on a pair of headphones and listen to the show, you'll understand why. So we get a Buffalo Bill and the Maki Supa. The Maki Supa kind of went heavy there at the end. Almost felt like as they were jamming Maki Supa a little bit, believe it or not, it almost seemed like they were going to go into big black furry creatures from Mars almost, and then ending the set with Rift. A surprising set ender. I don't know how often it happened back then, but if they ended a set with Rift right now, that'd be a pleasant surprise. So this first set, man, it was just pretty much all killer. I mean, I'm not a big Sparkle guy, but all right, Sparkle and Buffalo Bill didn't take up very much time. Neither did Lawn Boy. And then, even the Simple, for a while it lasted, the Simple was excellent. And then we get over here to a fiery Down with Disease opener. And then much like the first set, they're like, hey, we can do this, but then we can also do this. The Man Who Stepped Into Yesterday, Avinu Malkenu. And then they finish it up with the Little Man Who Stepped Into Yesterday, which gives me just almost gave me chills thinking of New Year's Eve. The Man Who Stepped Into Yesterday, like, damn, that was so cool. That moment when we realized that they were going to do Gamehenge, regardless of what you think of all the puppets and whatnot. When that moment came when we're like, oh my God, we are doing this. That was very cool, right? All right, so then we get Sparks, John Fishman all night long, including this one. And then maybe a little bit of a tease or a hint, like people might have been whispering, think they're going to play The Who. I think I saw on the set list they did a lot of Led Zeppelin pre-show for the sound check, and then to Uncle Pen. I don't know what it was all night long with the, hey, we can do this, and then You Enjoy Myself. Excellent all the way up to the Tramps Jam, and then it seems like we're not going to get a lot of Trey. Page and Mike just going to town, really big time Mike, and Page, when Page has his little funk section there, he killed that, and then it's like, okay, maybe we're just going to get a lot of Page and Mike here. No Trey solo, and then here comes Trey. Big Red, as they like to call him, just came out, man. He came in with this solo part that just sent this one from already a very good 4.5-star YEM to probably a 5-star YEM. More John Fishman. You know, we're celebrating Fishman all night. You just couldn't help but celebrate John Fishman. Hold your head up, bike. Hold your head up. You know, I kind of liked bike. That was a fun one. If they're going to do the whole Fishman vacuum thing, bike's a good one. And then this second, like this was all right. It just seemed like this part of the Antelope they were just working towards Sleeping Monkey. But my God, when they got back to that, the second part of the Antelope, just a complete flamethrower. You know, they were like there was a lot of hose and tray back there. This was not squirting out water, that's for sure. And then Harry Hood, again, it felt like, oh, we got us a nice, quiet, peaceful Hood. And then you just realize, oh man, everything on this night is just gonna slay, isn't it? So look at that, lots of red, you know, and it's sometimes these old shows I don't get too fired up for, especially this early in the morning, but good luck listening to this show and not being having a little extra pep in your step. Boom. Thanks to John and channel member John, the most recent guy to join the channel. Hope you enjoyed the recap. I really enjoyed the trip down memory lane. And if you haven't heard this show, I'm sure you have by now. And if you haven't heard the gym in a while, go check out the gym. Second half of that Antelope. You won't have any hair left. You'll be nothing but dust and bones. Although somehow I survived. Don't have any pants on though. Love you. Boom. We're out of here.